Unexpected defiance. Grand Admiral Thelmax of the Galactic Dominion stood motionless on the command deck of the Imperial dreadnought Inevitable Conquest, his 4 eyes fixed on the holographic display of the small blue-green planet. Earth, as the natives called it, another insignificant world to be brought under the benevolent control of the Dominion. "Status report," Thelmax demanded, his voice carrying the gravelly tone typical of the Arcosian species. "Preliminary scans complete, Admiral," responded First Officer Zarin. "The humans possess rudimentary space travel capabilities, limited to their home system. Military technology appears to be pre-antimatter development. Fleet strength estimated at fewer than 200 vessels, most under 500 meters in length." Thelmax's mouth flaps twisted into what passed for a smile among his kind. "Typical. Begin standard diplomatic contact protocol. Inform the Imperial Council that assimilation should proceed without complications." The Dominion had conquered over 300 star systems in the last millennium. Their process was refined to near perfection. Identify developing civilizations, make contact, demonstrate overwhelming technological superiority, and offer the choice between beneficial integration or devastating subjugation. In the Dominion's 10,000-year history, only 6 species had chosen war. None had survived as independent entities. Earth would be no different. Captain Elena Chen of the United Earth Defense Force stood on the bridge of the Defiant Response, Earth's newest defense cruiser. At 600 meters, it was the largest vessel humans had ever constructed, though she knew it would appear laughably small to the massive alien ship that had just entered orbit. "All stations report," she ordered, maintaining a calm she didn't entirely feel. "Weapons systems ready but powered down as ordered, Captain," replied Commander Jackson Taylor, her executive officer. "Shield systems at minimum visibility configuration. Communications standing by." Lieutenant Aisha Narayan added, "The alien vessel is broadcasting on multiple frequencies. Universal Translator is attempting to process." Chen nodded, her dark eyes never leaving the main view screen. The alien ship was beautiful in its way, sleek, with organic curves that somehow incorporated geometric precision, glowing with soft blue-green light that seemed to bend reality around it. It was also over 3 kilometers long. "This is what we've prepared for," Chen reminded her crew. "First contact protocols. Let's show them humanity's best face, while keeping our cards close to the chest." The translated message finally came through. "Attention Earth vessels. This is Grand Admiral Thelmax of the Galactic Dominion. Your planet has been identified as a developing civilization of interest. Prepare to receive diplomatic envoys to discuss terms of integration into the Dominion's sphere of protection." Chen exchanged glances with Taylor. "Integration, not first contact. They're skipping straight to annexation." "They've done this before," Taylor replied grimly. "Open a channel," Chen ordered. Diplomatic Response Alpha. 3 days later, in the United Earth Government headquarters beneath Geneva, emergency session was in progress. Grand Admiral Thelmax and his delegation sat across from UEG President Alejandro Reyes and Earth's military and scientific leadership. "The terms are quite generous," Thelmax was saying, his translator conveying his words with mechanical precision. "Earth will maintain internal autonomy while benefiting from Dominion technology, trade networks, and protection. In exchange, we require only reasonable resource quotas, military limitations, and the acceptance of Dominion oversight of your development." President Reyes leaned forward. "And if we decline these terms?" Thelmax's skin changed hue slightly. "That would be unwise. Those who resist integration face corrective measures. The Dominion has never failed to bring a species into compliance." "I see," Reyes said evenly. "We'll need time to consult with our global representatives." "Of course," Thelmax replied. "You have 3 standard days to accept our terms." After the aliens departed, Defense Secretary Mai Wong turned to Reyes. "They've scanned our visible military assets. They believe we're practically defenseless." General Ibrahim Okafor, Supreme Commander of Earth's forces, nodded. Operation Shadow Fleet remains undetected. The quantum shielding on the Jupiter and Neptune bases is holding. Reyes closed his eyes briefly. The question is, do we reveal our true capabilities now, or wait for their first move? Dr. Sanjay Patel, Earth's lead xenotechnologist, spoke up. Their technology is advanced, but not as advanced as they want us to believe. Much of it is adapted from other conquered species. Their weakness is arrogance. They don't believe we could possibly threaten them. Then perhaps, Rice said slowly, it's time to educate them. When Thelnax returned 3 days later, he was met not in Geneva but aboard the Defiant Response. President Reyes stood with Captain Chen and a small delegation. We've considered your offer carefully, Reyes said, and we must respectfully decline. Earth will remain independent. Thelnax's skin rippled with visible agitation. You misunderstand, President. This is not a negotiation. The Dominion is offering you survival. No, Reyes countered calmly. You misunderstand. We're offering you the same. At that moment, a junior officer approached Thelnax, whispering urgently in his ear. The Admiral's posture stiffened. You've been concealing military assets, he accused. Our deep scans have just detected unusual activity in your outer system. Not concealing, Chen corrected. Protecting. We've learned caution over our history. It makes no difference, Thelnax dismissed. Your hidden toys cannot match Dominion firepower. You have one final opportunity to reconsider. We have reconsidered, Rice stated firmly. This meeting is concluded. We request your forces depart Earth space immediately. Thelnax's eyes narrowed. Then you have chosen extinction. As the Dominion delegation departed, Chen turned to Reyes. They'll return with their battle fleet within days. Then it's time. Reyes nodded. Activate Shadow Fleet. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations stirred to life. Within the clouds of Jupiter, massive shipyards decloaked, revealing vessels unlike anything Earth had publicly acknowledged. In the rings of Saturn and among Neptune's moons, weapons platforms emerged from quantum-shielded hangars. From the asteroid belt and from bases on Mars moons, fighter squadrons deployed in perfect formation. Earth had been preparing for this moment for over a century. Captain Chen stood on the bridge of the Defiant Response as the true nature of her vessel was revealed. The defense cruiser began a metamorphosis, its hull reconfiguring as hidden systems came online. What had appeared to be a 600-meter vessel expanded to nearly twice that length as stealth compartments opened to reveal advanced weapon systems. All ships reporting ready, Captain Taylor announced. Shadow Fleet is deployed and awaiting your command. Open fleet-wide channel, Chen ordered. When the connection was confirmed, she spoke clearly. This is Fleet Commander Chen. For decades we've trained for this moment. Humanity has always expected to find others among the stars. We hoped for friends but prepared for enemies. The Dominion believes us weak because we've hidden our strength. Today, we show them how wrong they are. 5 days later, the Dominion returned, not with a single dreadnought, but with a battle group of 30 capital ships and nearly 100 support vessels. To Thelnax, it was overwhelming force, enough to subjugate a dozen worlds simultaneously. The humans have deployed their military assets, Zirin reported. Approximately 500 vessels of varying sizes, primarily concentrated near their homeworld and the fourth planet. 500. Thelnax scoffed. They've thrown everything they have at us. Begin standard conquest formation. Target their largest vessels first. Admiral, Zirin hesitated. Our sensors are detecting unusual energy signatures from their fleet. They don't match our database of known weapons technologies. Irrelevant. Thelnax dismissed. Begin the attack. The Dominion fleet moved forward with practiced precision, forming a pincer movement designed to entrap and destroy the human defenders. Their first volley of energy weapons lanced across space toward Earth's fleet. But instead of the expected devastation, something extraordinary happened. The human vessels didn't evade. They absorbed the attacks with previously invisible shield systems that flared blue-white on impact. Impossible, Thelnax breathed. Their ships should be vaporized. Before he could process this development, the human fleet responded. Not with conventional weapons, but with tightly focused gravity beams that distorted space-time around the Dominion vessels, causing catastrophic stress to their hull integrity. Multiple hull breaches on forward vessels, Zarin shouted. 6 destroyers reporting critical damage. Counterattack with all weapons, Thelnax ordered. But the real shock came when a swarm of smaller human craft suddenly appeared behind the Dominion formation, having somehow bypassed their detection systems entirely. These fighters deployed what appeared to be miniaturized black hole generators, creating localized gravity wells that tore apart 3 Dominion cruisers before their shields could adapt. They have quantum-fold technology, Zarin realized in horror. That's centuries beyond what their visible infrastructure suggested. For the first time in his long career, Thelnax felt a chill of uncertainty. This was not proceeding according to any conquest scenario in Dominion history. Regroup the fleet, he commanded. Fall back and reassess. As the Dominion forces attempted to reposition, the human fleet executed a coordinated maneuver that no single species force should have been capable of. Different vessel types moved in perfect complement to each other, forming an attack pattern that exposed no weaknesses. They fight as one mind, Zarin observed with reluctant admiration. By the battle's end, the unthinkable had occurred. 17 Dominion capital ships destroyed or disabled. The rest, including Thelnax's flagship, were in retreat, jumping to safety at the system's edge. On the defiant response, Captain Chen allowed herself a small smile as the enemy fled. Pursuit course, Commander Taylor. The Dominion needs to understand, Earth is just the beginning of their problems. Civilization-defining victory. The Imperial Council chamber on Arcos Prime fell silent as Grand Admiral Thelnax's report concluded. 12 council members, representing the founding species of the Galactic Dominion, stared in disbelief at the battle footage playing above the central holotable. This is unprecedented, Elder Counselor Varix finally said, her translucent membranes fluttering in agitation. No species has repelled a Dominion battle group in over 2,000 cycles. The humans concealed their true technological capabilities. Thelnax explained, his voice carrying a hint of respect despite his frustration. Our intelligence was catastrophically flawed. How? Demanded Counselor Moriv, his crystalline form pulsing with angry light. How could a species confined to a single star system develop quantum-fold technology, gravity manipulation weapons, and unified battle networks? High Scientist Ilara stepped forward, her delicate features set in concentration. We have analyzed their technology. It appears they have taken different evolutionary paths than the Dominion standard. While we focused on energy manipulation and biological enhancement, they pursued quantum mechanics and artificial intelligence integration to remarkable effect. Their history provides clues, added Intelligence Director Krav. Unlike most species, humans have experienced thousands of internal conflicts. They've spent more time fighting each other than most civilizations spend fighting external threats. War is embedded in their development. Then we shall give them the war they crave, declared Supreme Commander Dox, his massive form rising from his seat. I am mobilizing the Grand Fleet, all 30 battle groups. We will obliterate this upstart species before their contagion of resistance spreads. But even as the Dominion leadership planned humanity's destruction, Earth was not waiting passively. Admiral Elena Chen, now commanding the Combined Earth Expeditionary Force from the flagship Humanity's Reach, addressed her fleet commanders via quantum-linked communication. The initial engagement was successful, but we've merely announced our presence, she stated calmly. Intelligence predicts the Dominion will respond with overwhelming force. Their society cannot tolerate our defiance. Fleet Marshal Taylor nodded on his communication screen. The Dominion doesn't realize we've been monitoring their transmissions since first contact. We know they're gathering their grand fleet at Arcos Prime. Then we implement Operation Thunderstrike, Chen decided. We won't wait for them to bring the war to Earth. Dr. Patel, now serving as Chen's chief science advisor, added, the quantum beacon network is operational. All fleet elements can execute coordinated fold jumps regardless of distance. Good, Chen replied, because we're going to hit them everywhere simultaneously. While the Dominion concentrated its forces for a decisive blow against Earth, humanity struck first, not at the enemy fleet, but at the foundation of their power. Across 17 key Dominion systems, human strike forces appeared without warning. Unlike the Dominion, which relied on established hyperspace routes for faster-than-light travel, Earth's quantum fold technology allowed precise jumps to any map location. The surprise was total. On New Carthax, a major Dominion manufacturing hub, a human battle group neutralized the orbital defenses within minutes before deploying specialized EMP weapons that disabled the production facilities without causing casualties. At Vega Outpost, the Dominion's primary communication relay, stealth vessels inserted commando teams who captured the facility intact, giving Earth access to the enemy's entire communication network. Most critically, at Helix IV, the site of the Dominion's primary antimatter production facility, human forces executed a precision strike that eliminated the Dominion's ability to resupply their most powerful weapons. This is impossible. Supreme Commander Dox raged as reports flooded in. They're attacking targets whose locations are classified. They're executing operations that would require months of planning. They've been planning for months, Intelligence Director Krav realized. Since before we even discovered them, they anticipated this conflict. For 2 weeks, the pattern continued. Human forces appeared, struck critical targets, and vanished before significant resistance could be mounted. They avoided civilian populations entirely, instead targeting military infrastructure with surgical precision. The Dominion, for the first time in its history, was fighting defensively and losing. We must concentrate our remaining forces to protect Arcos Prime, Dox insisted during an emergency council meeting. The humans must be planning to strike at our homeworld next. High Scientist Ilara disagreed. Their pattern suggests otherwise. They're systematically dismantling our ability to wage war, not targeting our population centers. They're fighting to neutralize, not annihilate. Regardless, Elder Counselor Varix decided, we cannot risk our homeworld. The Grand Fleet will establish a defensive perimeter around the Arcos system. The Dominion leadership had fallen into humanity's trap. When the human offensive against Arcos Prime finally came, it was unlike anything the Dominion had prepared for. Instead of a frontal assault against the concentrated Dominion fleet, quantum distortion fields appeared at precise coordinates throughout the defensive formation, creating spatial instabilities that forced the Dominion vessels to constantly reposition or risk structural failure. Admiral Chen's voice broadcast across all Dominion communication channels. Attention Dominion forces, we have neutralized your offensive capabilities across 17 systems. Your supply lines are cut. Your communication network is compromised. We now control your antimatter production facilities. You cannot win this war. On the bridge of his flagship, Supreme Commander Dox snarled at the humans' audacity. All vessels, attack pattern Omega. Crush their fleet. But when the Dominion ships attempted to engage, they found only sensor ghosts and holographic projections. The actual human fleet was elsewhere. Specifically, they were emerging from quantum fold directly in the upper atmosphere of Arcos Prime itself, bypassing the defensive fleet entirely. Not with weapons charge, but with a clear message. The Dominion capital was at their mercy. This is Admiral Elena Chen of Earth. She broadcast planet-wide. We could destroy your civilization today, but that is not our way. Instead, we offer you what you did not offer us. Choice. End this conflict. Recognize Earth, and all who ally with us as sovereign. Cease your forced integrations of other species. Do this, and we will withdraw without further hostilities." In the council chamber, stunned silence reigned as the leaders of the most powerful interstellar empire in known space confronted an unthinkable reality: defeat. "How can we accept such terms?" Councillor Morev demanded. "The Dominion has never surrendered." Elder Varix's ancient eyes studied the holographic display, showing human vessels positioned to strike at the heart of their civilization. "And yet, we have never faced an adversary like the humans. They could destroy us, but offer peace instead. Perhaps there is wisdom in this humility that our 10,000 years of dominance has not taught us." 3 days later, the Arcos Accords were signed. The Galactic Dominion recognized Earth as a sovereign power and agreed to cease forced integrations. In return, humanity shared limited aspects of their quantum technology and helped establish an interstellar assembly where all species, whether formerly under Dominion control or newly discovered, would have equal voice. As Admiral Chen prepared to return to Earth, Grand Admiral Thelmax requested a private meeting. "I must know," the Arcosian asked, "how did a species so young achieve what you have? Our civilization has existed for millennia longer than yours." Chen smiled slightly. "Perhaps that was your disadvantage, Admiral. You've known only victory for too long. Humanity has experienced thousands of years of conflict, cooperation, failure, and innovation. We've never stopped evolving, never grown complacent." "The Dominion expected resistance," Thelmax acknowledged, "not total strategic defeat." "That's the thing about humans," Chen replied. "We've spent our history exceeding expectations, especially our own." As the human fleet departed Arcos Prime, a new chapter in galactic history began. The species that had been dismissed as primitive had redrawn the power structure of known space in less than a month, and humanity's journey among the stars was only just beginning.